What's going on, y'all? What is going on? What's going on Facebook? What's going on Instagram? What's going on YouTube? Welcome on, welcome on, welcome on. What's going on, Josh? I see you hopped on here. Hang out with me for a little bit. I know some of y'all didn't think we was going to get on today because we missed it from earlier, but it's all good. We're not going to miss. We're not going to miss. We're not going to leave y'all hanging. We on here. Hey, as you come on, go ahead and hold on. Let me turn that down. Go ahead and like this video, share this video, Facebook. Come in and leave me a comment. Let me know you are on. It's Friday night. Some of y'all just hanging out at home. We're going to give y'all the bag on tonight. I figured since we didn't have it at 12 o'clock earlier, I'm going to leave y'all with the bag for how to build your brand. Give us a couple. I'm going to give a couple minutes for us to get on. Welcome on Facebook. Welcome on YouTube. I see we got a few people on here. As you come on, say hi. Let me know you're here. Show me some love. Y'all, I am jamming out tonight. I got a whole vibe going on. Smooth. You all, we are day number 8 of our 30-day challenge. How to find, well, first of all, answering the question of why you're not getting more clients and how to fix it. And today is going to be special because we're talking about how to build your brand, something that I specialize and focus in. So come on in. Let me make sure we're good to go on our other pages. If you haven't shared this already, go ahead and share it. If you haven't already liked it, go ahead and like it. If you haven't already subscribed, it's actually Andy Mineo. What you mean worldly? Josh, you crazy, man. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page. This challenge is not focused on going to YouTube, but if you're on here on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe now, because I guarantee you are going to get tremendous value from our content. Hands down, guaranteed. What they call it? How's this new generation called? No chafe. Let me stop. All right, here we go. We are live on the book. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Instagram. Josh, what you been up to, man? It's actually Andy Video. Background noises, boy. Josh, you crazy, man. All right, y'all. We're gonna get this kicked off here in about 30 seconds. Traveling, man. I see you doing your thing, man. I come across your page every now and then when I'm not running around myself, man, and you doing your thing, man. I see you get ready to be at the launch service here for X Church, man. I should be over there, so I'll be able to see you. All right, y'all. I think we're gonna kick it off. Y'all ready? All right, here we go. We're gonna get kicked off. All right. You all, we're going to go ahead and get this kicked off. Thank you so much for being on here on a Friday night. I know some of y'all are out, probably at a restaurant, probably with your family, probably with your significant other, whoever you're with. We just want to say thank you for being on here, whether you're on Instagram, whether you are on Facebook, whether you are on YouTube. We appreciate you so much for spending your time with me, Greater Brands, CEO, founder of Greater Brand Strategy, Design, and Marketing, spending time with me on tonight, Friday night. And you all, we're going to give y'all something special for you to be able to help answer the question of why you are not getting more clients and how to fix it. Because we're all about resolve. We want you to be successful. We want you to be able to make the impact that you're looking at making, make the connections that you're looking at wanting to make. And we want you to be successful in your business here. So today's going to be super special because, one, it's late. We were supposed to have this at 12 o'clock earlier, but it got crazy throughout the day. And so we missed it. And I almost didn't do this video, but I just said, you know what? This is a challenge. It's supposed to be a challenge. Marketing is not easy. It's not a magical formula. It is challenging because it requires you to be consistent. So I said, you know what? Let's take up this challenge. We're going to come in and knock this out to make sure we don't miss a day this month for you all to receive some wonderful content. So if you are on here, go ahead and share this video. Share it to your family, to your friends, so they can receive some wonderful information on how to build their business, how to be able to get more clients in their business. So today, my bad, Cobra. I got you. That's funny. Okay, so today we are going into something special because this is my expertise. This is where I put all of my effort, all of my time into making sure my clients and even yourself to receive the value and the service that you need to be able to grow your business. And that is an area of how to build your brand. How to build your brand. Let me say this from the jump. If you have a business and you are not concerned with building your brand, then I can tell you that you're probably already missing out on clients. So if you've never even wrapped your mind around building your brand, making sure you give strategic and intentional effort into building your brand, then you probably already are either a commodity because you don't know what's out there. And so you're not really setting yourself apart to be able to stand out for somebody that's making decisions. Because believe it or not, you have competitors that offer the same services as you, and people have options, and you want to be the one that they choose. And you can only do that if you are intentional about building your brand strategically. So we're going to talk about how to build your brand. And so you can be able to get more clients, be able to position yourself for the best possible outcome in your business. So when we talk about building a brand, what are we really talking about? It's a buzzword that's out there. Everyone's building their brand. And I'll say this as well. Whether you're intentionally looking at building your brand or not, whether you say you have a brand or not, guess what? You have one. If you're not intentionally building it, everyone else is building it for you. Your clients are building it for you. Everyone, the world is gonna have opinions about you, whether or not you give them an opinion to have. And we want to make sure that opinion is positive. So if you're not investing in building your brand, everyone else is doing it for you, whether you like it or not. So when we ask the question, what is a brand? What are we talking about? And before we get into what a brand is, I just want to put out there what a brand is not. Now, brace yourself, because I know you've probably heard lots of stuff, lots of topics, lots of things out there about what a brand is. And I want to say this from the jump. A brand is not your logo. It is not your logo. A brand is not your website. It's not your website. Your brand is not the clothing that you put on. Your brand is not your services. Your brand is not your photography. Your brand is not all those isolated pieces. Even though we like to think that our brand is those things, that's not what a brand is. Those things are part of building your brand. But when we say you're building a brand, we're not talking about those elements. We're talking about something much, much important, much more important and much deeper than those isolated pieces. So when we say that we're building a brand, what we're saying is we're looking at the cumulative of a client's experience when they encounter you. What are people saying about you? What are people thinking about you? What are the opinions that people have about you? And are you formulating them to work in your favor for the growth of your business? So yes, your logo is important, website's important, all those pieces are important. They're part of building your brand, but the ultimate purpose of your ultimate brand is what the experience is, the cumulative experiences of what people say about you. Jeff Bezos says, he said, a brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So when you walk away, after they left your service, after they left your conference, or after they left experiencing your products, what are they saying when they're not looking you in the face and saying it to you? Or what are they telling their family and friends? What are they telling other people about you? Because ultimately what they're saying when you're not around is what your brand is. Your brand is that unspoken experience that a person has encountering you. And guess what? There's lots of places that people encounter you on. They encounter you on, of course, your website, on social media, at a live event, or at a conference, or here on a Facebook Live or YouTube Live. And so our job, when we say we're building a brand, we're looking at building something that impacts people, the total experience of what it is that you represent. That's what you're building. And people need to know that it's something worth their time. So throw out the window, not a logo, not a website, not all those pieces that are so colorful and wonderful. It's really the essence, that unspoken secret sauce about who you are. So why do you need to build a brand? Why should you invest in building a brand? And how does it help you get more clients? How does it help you get more clients? Well, the first thing is by intentionally and strategically investing in your brand, you're going to be able to build consistency across all of your client touch points experiences. And consistency is the key for building relatability, to build trust, to build confidence, because they don't get confused when they encounter you on all these slew of different platforms. So consistency is a key part of persuading someone, or to allow someone the opportunity to say, you know what, I think I want to go with them because they just have the consistencies. They're not just saying one thing, presenting one thing, and something else is different somewhere else. It's all consistent. Another thing is it builds professionalism. When they go and see the consistencies of all the different areas that you are invested in, they're going to be able to see, okay, this company is professional. I don't want to go with company A down the street that's so messed up and their service is bad. I'd rather spend the extra money and go to this company because they have consistency. They have the quality of their services. Every time I encounter them, it's so, so, so great. You often hear, women that love to go to Target. Well, the reason why they love to go to Target versus going to Walmart is because they feel good when they step in the Target doors. You almost feel like a family. And there's an experience that comes out of encountering a good brand, and people will spend more money and choose to go there versus somewhere else that's tacky, all out of place, all unorganized, inconsistent, unprofessional. They don't make them feel good. They don't go above. They don't want all that. They'd rather go to a place that is established and cares about their brand and what people think about them. The third thing is identification in a client's mind. Again, after you build that consistency, after you build that professionalism, you're going to be able to build identification. When people think of your services, or when people think of whatever it is that you may offer, they're gonna associate it with your company. Right now, if I were to say, the leading the best, some of the best coffees in the world, immediately you think of Starbucks. If I were to think of cheeseburgers, immediately you think of McDonald's. If I were to say soda, immediately you would think of Coca-Cola or those high companies, because they build their brands so well that identification to the product is directed to that company itself. And that's how you begin to see yourself increase in profits and increase in margins in your business. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing is value and trust. People do business with others that they trust and that they value, that they perceive as value there. But if you're not being intentional about all of those experiences, every place that your brand touches, in which you encounter clients, guess what? They're not going to believe that you have value. They're not going to believe that you are worth their time, that they can trust you, especially not with their hard-earned money. So you have to invest in building your brand. You have to invest in all those components that dictate and influence decisions, dictate and influence people's perceptions and opinions. You have to be intentional about building those places. So how do you build a brand, right? Of course, we know that you have a business, you have a brand, whether you build one or not. But how do you strategically build the brand? And I'm going to give you a framework. I'm not going to give you the whole thing, but I'm going to give you a framework on how brands are built, at least at a starting place, so that you can start building your brand, or at least looking into the areas that your brand needs to be built in, so that you can begin to invest those things that are needed so that you can build a quality brand. So the first thing when you're looking at building a brand, let's say it's your company, your business, the brand around your company or business or services, the first thing you want to do is start with the building blocks, the very basic foundations of any formulated idea. And y'all ready for it? It's not rocket science. It's your brand foundations, dealing with the core elements of who you are. Who are you? So when we're answering the question of who you are, you're building those foundations. That starts with really looking at who And why do you do what you do? What is your why behind this business? What is your why that's motivating you behind your client experience? You have to define that. And you can't just throw any old words together. You have to formulate it in such a way that it's inspiring, that people are inspired to either partner with you or to go along with your vision, to connect with you and move forward. And if they can see themselves in your why, they're most likely going to choose you over someone else who has this vague concepts of who they are. They don't have nothing inspiring. They're going to do business with you because of your why, but not just your why, but also, of course, your vision, your mission, and your values. All those core components about who you are at the heart of your company. You need to define those. You need to go back and define those. And that in order to define those whys, your vision, your mission, you're going to need to know what services you offer and the audience that you're looking to impact with your why, that you're looking to impact with your vision and your mission and your values. And so go back and start with your defining your foundations. The second part of how to build your brand within your company is understanding positioning. Now, this is a key, huge component in building your business. Why is that? You'll be surprised. Many businesses get an idea, they get they want to start a business and they just jump, headfirst into the pool of entrepreneurship, and they don't do any research. They don't know what's out there. Now, this works to your disadvantage because there's other people out there that people are shopping amongst. You're not the only person. You're not the only option, especially now. Entrepreneurship is growing. Businesses are growing. People are wanting to start their own companies. And there's lots of options for your potential client to choose when they are searching for your product. And your job is to figure out how do you influence them to choose you while they're searching for a company to go with. So you need to formulate your positioning. And how do you do that? First thing you do, you need to know who it is that you are targeting, who it is that you're targeting, and what do they want? What is their pain points? What is the problems that they want the solution with? It's no good to position yourselves in a way that doesn't connect with them. You need to figure out who they are and define them. Go and write out your full audience audit of who they are. Secondly, within your positioning is you need to know who your competitors are. If you want to know where your target audience is, go to your competitors because they're already reaching them. Shortcut the line and go right to your competitors, see how they're operating, see what their voice is, look at their social media accounts, look at their websites, look at all those things out there, because guess what? When a client is looking up your services and they say services in San Antonio or services in Chicago or services in Atlanta, guess what? Other people come up and they're going to go through those websites, and the ones that they connect with the best, the one that speaks their language and is positioned the best, the relatable to them, is the one that they're most likely going to go to. So you need to find how are you going to position yourselves in the mix of all of the competitors out there, and how can you do it differently and stand out in a way that connects to your audience the best. And that's just a summary of positioning, but positioning is so important. But if you can stand out in a busy crowd, you figure out how to do that by knowing your audience and your competitors, you're most likely going to get chosen for a potential clients to do business with. So the third thing is your messaging. You're going to have to spend time on what you are saying. Imagine you were going on the date. You got suited up, you got suited and booted, if you will, got your nice outfit, ready to just what they call slay, impress. First impressions matter. You get all nice and dressed up. You go sit at the table with this other person. They're all nice and dressed up. They got their face beat. They're just looking stunning. And then they start talking and they absolutely bomb. This is what some of our companies are doing. We look great. We got the aesthetics down. But when we start to communicate, our communication doesn't connect because we don't have a message. We don't have a valuable message that's relatable to our audience. So we have to spend time with our message. You'll be surprised. I go to websites all the time, and the websites are full with a bunch of verbiage dump, stuff that people will not read, do not care about reading, and you're probably saying all the wrong stuff that doesn't relate to your audience. Right now, if you haven't invested in the area of your messaging, you need to go back and figure out, how do I formulate my message? Is my business name right? Some of us have crazy business names. I mean, business names that you don't even know how to pronounce, yet alone understand, relatable to your audience and relatable to your services. You need to formulate a proper business name that is attractive and that connects to your audience. What is your tagline? That first statement that says the promise that you're going to deliver to a client, that you're going to be able to deliver the results to a potential client. What is your brand story? Well, how did you get to where how did you arrive to where you're at? What is the background? What is the story that inspires me to connect with you? What are the client stories of people that's connected with you and had the impact within your services? What is the language that you use? The language, maybe you're a bold and exciting person. What language and words describes and identifies to your audience? Language that they would like to hear, that they relate to, versus just things that you like. You're going to have to formulate your message. So that was the fourth thing. The fifth thing is understanding your brand, or formulating and putting together your brand identity. What is your brand identity? Your brand identity is really how you look and how you present yourself visually, the visual components of your entire brand. And guess what? How you look speaks. How you are dressed speaks. If you were to put, one of those jackets on at night that has all the lights and stuff on it, you're probably gonna think you're working construction. Or if you were to be dressed in a suit, you're probably a business person. Or if you were to be dressed in athletic gear, you're probably dealing with some kind of athlete. What I'm saying is how you look communicates who you are, and your communication will locate the people that is looking to connect with you. If you don't look the part of a professional, you're not going to attract the people that are looking for your services. And so your brand requires that you build out a brand identity. And how do you do that? It starts with your logo, right? We need that first icon marker that's easily understood, that's very professional, that identifies you with your colors, your textures, all those different things that builds out your identity, and make sure it's consistent across all touch points. I should be able to go to your social media channel. I should be able to go to your website. I should be able to see you at an event, and all of your colors and all of your fonts, all of your textures looks consistent, and it points all back to you as the company. There has to be consistency, but your identity also has to have personality. Guess what? Colors communicate moods. Words and textures and fonts communicate feelings. It gives off feelings. When you see a classy company or classy font, you get the feeling of elegance. If you were to see bubble letters, you get the feeling of playfulness or maybe childlike, which you may not want to do that in certain businesses because it doesn't represent the business and it doesn't communicate who you are. It can be very confusing and unattractive. So you need to build out an attractive aesthetics and brand identity to be able to, one, put off value and professionalism, and be able to attract the type of clients that you're looking to connect with. And then lastly, and there's lots more to this, but the last thing that I think is super critical after you built your foundations, after you went ahead and defined your positioning, after you put together your messaging, after you designed your brand identity, you need to go through and make sure you audit and design your entire client experience map. What does that mean? For the time that first place a client interacts with you at, from day one, they connect with you, whether it be on whatever channel you're using, what does that first impression say? Then what is that step number two? Do they go to your website? What does that communicate? When you send them an email, what does that email look like? What is the experience that they get with that email? When you send out a proposal, or when you get that phone call, or when they meet you in person, or when they meet you on that first Zoom call, what does that experience look like? And you want to design those touch points and those key pivotal moments in your brand store and your brand map, your experience map, to make sure that their experience is absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, they should be blown away from every encounter with you. And you can't leave that to happenstance. You have to design that intentionally as they navigate through every aspect of your brand, from the time that you stand up and speak to them on a stage, or wherever it is. You need to make sure every single place is audited, from the way you follow up with the client, from the way the service quality is. All those important points on the map are absolutely critical for you to maintain your brand and to build value that people want to connect with. And if you go through all of those and begin to map them out intentionally and strategically, look into all the details of every connection point and design them intentionally, you're going to be able to build a brand that's valuable and people will talk about, they'll put out, they'll spend more money with, they'll be attracted to you, they'll build trust and confidence. And this is how you're going to begin to build build and grow your business and impact and begin to get more clients. So you all, this one was a long one, but this is so important because this is, we're talking about how, why you're not getting more clients and how to fix it. Well, ask yourself the question, have you invested in building your brand versus just starting a business? And they go hand in hand. You're starting a business, you're an entrepreneur. And so you're saying, I'm going to intentionally and strategically define how my brand is represented and interacted with people. So if you're not building your brand, that's probably why you're not getting more clients, but we can fix that by following the framework that we just gave here today so that you can begin to have a wonderful experience and people will chat about you when you're not in the room in a way that benefits you and grows your clients and your business. So you all, if you are on here now, make sure you share this video. If you are catching a replay, make sure you share this video, get the word out, tell people so that they can begin to consume this value, grow their businesses. If you have questions, go ahead and leave those questions in the comments. If you have comments, leave those there and we will be happy to get back to them. We're going to get them all answered. And if you are not subscribed, if you have not liked our pages, make sure you follow Greater Brands on Facebook, Instagram, and also on YouTube. And lastly, you all, if you're looking to build the value of your brand, if you're looking at growing your brand or begin to put your marketing strategy in place, make sure you reach out to us. Free discovery call where we can see where we can find rooms for you to grow your business absolutely free by visiting buildgreaterbrands.com. And we will make sure to set that up so that we can get you going, get you moving into growing your business and making the impact that you're looking at making. You all, that's day number 8. We will see you on tomorrow for day number 7, Instagram. We'll see you on Facebook and YouTube on tomorrow for another day of our 30-day challenge on helping you figure out why you're not getting more clients and how to fix it. We'll see y'all later.